Sam Chinedu here, Chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Professor Mahmood Yakubu has lamented the electoral management body's inability to sanction political parties, candidates, and their supporters who engage in premature campaigns ahead of elections. I've been asking questions about the efficiency and independence of the commission. Mr. Olalekan, my guest, is still right here with me. You're welcome once again, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. Now, Mr. Ige, I have seen a media house sanctioned because campaign jingles ran less than 24 hours to an election. I know that in some way, shape, or form, INEC may have enforced these sanctions to maybe other political parties. And we know that they have done it for 24 hours to an election. Before the window stipulated for campaigns, they obviously are claiming that it's difficult to do. So if we can have sanctions that are clear for 24 hours to an election, why shouldn't we have clarity when it comes to before the campaign cycle?
Okay. So, Chinedu, who enforces media fine? Is it INEC?
NBC.
No. It is the NBC. It's the
NBC.
National Broadcasting Commission.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I was arguing. Should we have a commission that is saddled with the responsibility or with such responsibility of monitoring political parties or politicians or individuals who start campaigns before INEC officially announces a timetable? Should we have a commission that does that? Or should we create a special department in INEC that handles such matters? Maybe that's an argument that we might need to do, which was why I was saying that INEC concentrates on its core responsibility, which is to organize elections. And that an attempt to now begin to chase people from north to south, from east to west, over campaign or no campaign, could adversely affect the ability of INEC to concentrate on its core responsibility. That is why, if you check the oil and gas industry, for example, and you check multinationals, whatever it is not their core area of responsibility, what do? They sublet it out.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So they outsource it to those who have competence in that area, so that they can focus on what is their real business. So you will now find an oil and gas firm concerning itself on how to cook food that has been contracted to a caterer who is an expert in that field. They have contracted that supply of vehicles, buses, oil rigs, and all of that to companies who have the competence to do that. That way, they focus on their core area of business. Can we get INEC to do that? Because it is difficult to confirm that truly this is a campaign. So the INEC will now need to pay lawyers to help them prosecute the matter in court. That's on one hand. On the other hand is the slow judicial system in Nigeria. So you may take a political party to court. You may take an individual politician to court. It means that you may as well be in court for 10 to 15 years. What happens if the politician you take to court dies in the course of litigation? The matter ends immediately. What happens if you take political party XYZ to court and the party 4 months later merges with another party and it becomes XQYC? What happens to the litigation? I'm sure you know that politicians are very smart.
Yeah.
So if you know, then you know that there can be a lot of things. Remember too that some of these politicians and political parties also have access to brilliant lawyers who can successfully defend them in court. So if INEC is saying, look, I advertise to be able to find these people, it's better INEC is even saying it now. Maybe this might generate a new discourse, in political circles to say, look, do we need to have a commission that monitors political parties, politicians, and individual Nigerians who start campaigning well in advance before the announcement of electoral timetable, election timetable by INEC? Do we need to have something like that? Okay, should we domicile such office in the office of the Attorney General of the Federation? Should we domicile such office? In whose office should we domicile it? EFCC is already saddled with enormous responsibilities. So can we target economic and financial crime? The answer is no. So can we now look for whether it's a political crime or an electoral crime? Should we have a commission to undo that?
Okay, well,
it's a tough one.
Yes, indeed. It's better to have a department than a new commission, because with a fresh commission, you need a new chairman and there will be board members and all of that. So a department will be better.
All to be appointed by politicians, I'm sure you know.
Yes, so it's better. It's better to have a department in INEC, right?
To have election campaign crime commission. For example, I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
Who appoints the chairman? Try to be the politician.
Yeah.
So they can as well appoint a politician to be the chairman of that election campaign crime commission. What if they appoint a politician to be the chairman? And the man tells you that they have committed no crime.
Oh, my goodness.
There's nothing they can do at this point in time.
Okay. So let's look at the gray areas. Now, earlier, INEC had expressed concern. I think this made headlines yesterday or the day before about this same early campaigns by politicians and their surrogates in clear violation. Chairman Board of Electoral Institutes, Professor Abdullahi Zuru, said in Abuja at the stakeholder roundtable, I'm looking for that part. Yes, he said the challenges of premature campaigns were disguised as appreciation, philanthropy done via billboards, social media, and even physical gatherings. So it doesn't present as campaign. But, you know, at some point, a foundation that belongs to a politician who will very likely run in 2 years.
But, you know, in politics, every policy, action, project of any administration, be it local government, state, or federal government, I hope you know that it is a political capital. That is an equivalent. So I'm entering the road or the internal road of my community, for example. And I said, look, this man has done well. And the best way for us to reward him is to vote him again. I've spoken my mind. Is there a campaign? Only the court will interpret it. That I was only showing appreciation that he has performed well and that somebody who performs well deserves continuity.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Ige. Let us now break it down based on English language, right?
Yes.
The governor of my state has done well, full stop, appreciation. Let us vote him in 2027 campaign. The minute you add that he needs to come back, it has become campaign.
No, Chinedu, are you denying me the right to speak? My right is that my governor has done well by turning the internal roots of my community. And I say he deserves continuity.
No, leave the continuity. That's where the campaign has now entered. Appreciation is thank you.
Then Chinedu, why don't you take me to collect the court interpret whether I'm campaigning?
That's the problem now. You are exercising a loophole. So just thank your governor.
But Chinedu, a brilliant lawyer will look for loophole in any law. That is his job. That is why he's called a lawyer.
Okay.
That is why he has the experience. And that's why I'm telling you that the Constitution of Nigeria guarantees me the right to speak. And I've spoken. Now you said that right is not affecting other people. Then I'm okay, well, let us go to court. After all, you've heard politicians who say that we have won this election, please go to court. And they will tell you to go to court.
Okay. Finally.
But I'm sure that the matter may not even finish before the electoral cycle ends.
Okay. Finally.
So there's a lot more to it than what we are saying.
Yes.
And if somebody is saying that, look, they come by the way of appreciation, is it a crime to appreciate somebody for performing well?
You can always tell when it is sinister, right? You just know that this doesn't just...
What you are saying this afternoon now amounts to you being the judge and the prosecutor in the matter.
It is...
The guy who gave you the power to determine whether it is a sinister or not.
Mr. Ige, in the court of common sense, right, you can spot these things.
The court of common sense is not what is before the court of law. The court of law says that you must prove every case beyond every shred of doubt. That's what the law says.
Okay.
We're not looking at law of common ground.
Now let me ask, right? Let's now take real life situations, case studies. With what is going on politically in the country right now, the APC has clearly endorsed the president for 2027. This endorsement has spanned different regions. The south, some parts, the western, they have all said it is Tinubu. We've had issues with the ADC claiming that they are forming a coalition to unseat the president. We've had the Peter Obi situation. Every now and then his name makes it in the media. Do all of these activities constitute campaigns in any way, shape, or form?
Chinedu, all what you have said are arguable. A political party has to endorse a candidate. Endorsement is not stopping anybody from contesting the election. They say we have endorsed you. Is that a crime? Have they committed a crime? Anybody can endorse anybody at any point in time. If you say that no, it has gone beyond the threshold of what constitutes a fair deal, it is now going into campaigns. Then I think at that point, INEC, if they have the sufficient firepower, can say, okay, you have committed a crime and you are going to pay a fine of so. So, for example, you fine APC, for example, 500,000 naira for pre-election campaign. How much is 500,000 naira? That is what somebody would dip his hand in his pocket and pay immediately and say, okay, no problem.
True.
True.
Very true.
But I'm even saying that let us even assume and even concede that they've constituted what constitutes campaign before the announcement of 27 general election. Part of a section of the Electoral Act, if it's only fine. Maybe the weight would have been heavier if you say that, look, such political party will be denied from producing candidates for the general election. Maybe political party might be a little bit cautious or whatever they say. But once you put a fine, then once you pay the fine, it doesn't stop the party from presenting candidates.
So, Mr. Ige, finally, I know I've said finally before, are we in agreement that INEC is helpless on this particular subject?
Based on what is on ground, it's difficult for INEC to be able to prosecute anybody. Remember that even the electoral talks about INEC prosecuting those who are involved in electoral malpractices. Since 1999, I think we've only been able to prosecute a very few. I think the most recent was the man who announced the result of the Senate president. Not that, I don't think it's for this current election. I think it's for previous election or something. That was a sanction and jailed for falsifying figures. So we had only very few cases like that where we have been able to successfully prosecute those who have been involved in electoral malpractice. That is for election proper, not to talk of matters of pre-election, well before the election timetable is released by INEC. It's a difficult road. INEC is helpless. If you ask me, I would say INEC should focus on its core responsibility, and that is to conduct free, fair, and credible elections. To begin to chase over 1 million Nigerians, over 2 million Nigerians. I'm sure you know there are several Nigerians, several groups that are endorsing one candidate of the other. So if INEC continues to pursue these people from pillar to post, then what time will the agency have to prepare for election?
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ige, for your time. It was a pleasure doing this with you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Have a beautiful day, sir.
You're most welcome.
Okay. So I'm defeated because I had faith in the commission. INEC is concerned about early campaigns. Early campaigns constitutes any form of campaigns that happens before the 150-day window stipulated by the Electoral Act. So if anybody says vote for Mr. A before 150 days before an election, then that is an offense. But INEC itself says it is handicapped. It is helpless. The chairman literally said that the inability to sanction political parties and their supporters ahead of the elections are a major source of concern. So what does this say? Do you think, I don't even know if I should ask if you think INEC is helpless, because at this point, based on the position of my guest, that's the answer. What's your take on the issue? 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06. 416. I believe we're live. I have to find out on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Emeka calls from Owerri. Good evening, Emeka. How you doing?
I'm fine, my brother. Let me use the first time. Oracle. It's not a rocket science. INEC come on to say that they are handicapped or whatever what they use. I disagree. I again take all the penalty on this kind of thing, only on finance. So I say the constitution of Nigeria, there is a lot of lacuna in the constitution. And they say that anybody that has advertised before the stipulated time can even be disqualified from potential election. So there's something bad about that. I can even say, this is what I hear. Because if you campaign because of the stipulated time by INEC, you may no longer contest the election. It is just long and short after the week. You don't tell me that hello. You don't tell me that you pay money. What amount of money you give them, they will pay. These organizers, you will no longer contest the election. I think that is long and short. They will be careful about what they are doing.
All right, Jamaica, thank you very much. Struggling to hear some part of that. But stiffer penalties is his advocacy. A fine will not work. Mufasa calls from D-Line. Hello, Mufasa.
Yeah, hi, Sam. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sam, I do not think INEC is concerned about early campaigns. For me, that headline is misleading. It lacks sincerity of purpose and intention.
Really?
INEC is aware that the moment these politicians are sworn in, campaign starts immediately. In fact, they abandon governance and they begin to campaign either by themselves or by their proxies or by their political party. When people gather and begin to endorse somebody that is already in power or any candidate, that amounts to a campaign. It is simple as ABC. And for me, I believe that the biggest problem we have in this country is the justice system. Our judicial system has been balkanized by and government almost winded up the 6 months allocated to him by the president. And the court has not addressed that matter. So for me, the only thing needed for evil and injustice to prevail in a society is for there to be no consequences. Mm-hmm. If we don't have consequences for bad behavior, it will continue in the society. So INEC should just save us the stress and their energy. Campaigns have started and nobody will be punished because we don't have justice in this country.
All right.
Simple and short.
Thank you. Thank you, Mufasa. Bright from Rumodumai. Bright, unfortunately, you have lesser time. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Chinedu.
Go ahead.
You know, for me, I don't think there's anything like early campaign. The reason is that, just as the last caller said, when you swear in a leader, from that day, campaign starts. Another thing is that, we are even the opposition. When they go to meeting, or church, or birthday party, or burial, if they talk anything concerning the government that is on the seat, the government will react. And by reacting or responding, that is campaign. In US, it's not like that. When you swear in the current leader, which is president, when you watch CNN, you will not see the other party, even the current party, until the election time. But this time, from the day they swear in the current leader, opposition will start acting. Any mistake, they will talk. When they go to birthday party or burial or child education, they will talk. And by so doing, the other people will respond.
No, Bright. I'm sorry. Yeah? I have to come in here. This is not true. In even the US that you speak about, in many cases, the opposition is usually louder than the government in power. I remember Obama was criticized about going to a party with his wife, and this was from the Republican, right? There are countless examples, really. They always do. That's what the opposition does. So I'm shocked that you... Okay, go ahead, please.
In our own case, it's not the same. People in our... You don't need to talk about maybe what is governance. You start to talk about that this person that is the leader is not qualified. Even when you are not supposed to talk, even in the church. And you know, when we talk about campaign, when there is no billboard or posters, vote for so person, you can't call any other thing campaign. Just as the lawyer said, it's just mere appreciation. And when you appreciate somebody, you have to also praise him, the person, and give him room again to move on. So the early campaign without billboard or poster does not hold water. Thank you, Worship Bright.
All right, thank you very much. Well, it really does seem that most respondents are leaning in the direction of the inefficiency of INEC. They are helpless, and campaign starts when it does. Stay with us.